My radio's gonna turn on and blast any second now, but what's up? It's Tuesday. No, it's Monday, December 30th, 2024. It's New Year's Adam, because tomorrow's New Year's Eve. So that means Adam and Eve. Today's New Year's Adam. Also, who gives a fuck? Okay, so anyway. So I've been trying to focus on and think of the things that help me mentally and build confidence within me. So on that list, there is just simply knowing what the fuck I'm talking about. That builds confidence. That's a very obvious one. But the more that I learn about anything, the more I realize I don't know anything, which is the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is it's pretty much this, I guess it's I don't think it's a theory, I think it's proven, but you learn something, and then because you learn something, you think you know everything, and then because you think you know everything, that leads to a rude awakening of you knowing now that you don't know shit, which leads to you understanding that you reach the awareness that you know that you don't know really anything at all about that particular subject. And I feel like I've just experienced that a shit ton recently, where I think that I know a lot about a specific thing, and then I realize, I don't at all. I don't know shit. And I was like, well, how can I build the confidence? How can I make it so that no matter what I'm doing, I just have the confidence and I feel good and I feel great about the thing and I can do the thing. I don't know what else to say other than confidence. I can do the thing in confidence. I can do the thing knowing that I'm as correct as I could be, that whatever. So one of the things on this list is just continuous learning about fitness and nutrition, because I've talked about it on the show numerous times now, but fitness and nutrition itself is not the passion, not the thing that's driving me to want to do everything. Yes, I love it. Yes, I want to get stronger. Yes, I want to get bigger. Yes, I love hitting the gym. But I would rather be in a different niche specifically. However, it doesn't matter what niche I'm in, because that still allows me to do the business side of things, which is ultimately what I want to do. You know, this isn't temporary. This isn't permanent. It's temporary. I can foresee myself doing this for another 3, 4, 5 years, and then move on to another thing if I so choose. But anyway, I've been in the gym for almost 12 years. So 11 and a half years now I've been consistently hitting the gym. Well, I don't want to say consistently. I had 2 years where I just fell the fuck off of everything, but keep it simpler. You've been in the gym for almost 12 years. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about exercise. I've learned a lot about, buzzwords and vocab words. I've learned a lot about nutrition, how certain things work. I've learned a lot about different diets. I've learned a lot about getting protein in and your carbs. I've competed in a show. I know about contest prep. I've been a coach before in the past. I've helped maybe 2-3 dozen people transform. I know a lot about the stuff, but because I know, quote unquote, a lot about the stuff, I almost feel like I know nothing, because I guess, I don't know how else to explain it. It sounds dick if I say I just have known about it for so long that it's just second nature, and it's just crazy how people don't know this stuff. And if I were to say that, I feel like a dick. That's kind of how I feel. I've been doing it for a while. And so, some people don't know that carbs and protein have 4 calories per gram of one protein, 1 carb. Some people don't know that alcohol is the 4th macronutrient and has 7 calories per gram. There's small things like that. And you can range that from nutrition to fitness, or to workouts to exercise to a whole bunch of other shit. And I just forget that that's stuff that people don't know. So for me to want to make content about that, being all right, so protein has 4 calories, 1 gram of carb has 4 calories, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. For me to think about that, it's no, everybody knows that. But not everybody does. And I think that with so much. I think that with eccentric lifting, concentric lifting. I think that with rest pause sets. I think that with progressive overload and flexible dieting and tracking macros. I think that with so much. And I'm like, dude, a lot of people don't know about this stuff. So it's okay. But so what I'm trying to get at here, so I feel like a dick even saying any of that, but what I'm trying to get at here is I feel like everybody knows this stuff, so then I feel like I know nothing, so then that makes me think that I'm not qualified to do any of this shit, because when I go to post something, I'm like, I'm not sure, bro. I don't think that's true, you know? And it's something so stupid. Like, I was trying to write a post about creatine the other day, and I'm like, what even is creatine? Do I even know? What if somebody finds out that I'm a fraud and I made a typo and I actually don't know what creatine does? And I just started second guessing literally everything, and I've been doing this shit for almost 12 years, dude. I've taken more pre-workout than anybody else on earth. God damn, you know? And, I mean, probably not. I have not. But anyway, let's turn my car off here. Yeah, so I want to learn more. I want to learn more about everything. I want to write about that thing, and I want to make posts and content about it. And I think that would boost my confidence quite a bit in this field, make me feel more like the things that I'm talking about are things that people don't know. Because honestly, when I think about what I know, I feel like it's just common knowledge. But then part of me is also like, no, it's absolutely not. If it were, I bet you 70% of the population wouldn't be overweight or obese, but whatever. So what I'm actually planning on doing is spending more money, dude, to get, I don't know if you guys know who Lane Norton is. He's the fucking goat of nutrition and unbiased research breakdowns, if you want to call it that. And I would call him kind of the gold standard as far as exercise, nutrition, fitness goes, as far as breaking down research. So I'm not even trying to be funny, but he explains research with practical summaries, which is actually a thing that he has. It's called REPS, which is called Research Explained in Practical Summaries. And what that is him going over the latest research, the latest big things that are going on, breaking it down so that we can understand what the fuck is going on, and using that new knowledge or applying the new principles or suggestions or guidelines or whatever to our lives based on the latest research. And it's $13 a month, I believe, and you get one per month. And that breakdown consists of 5 topics, I believe, and I could be wrong on that, but I was just looking into it today. And that alone right there, I feel like would be such an incredible investment because of how much knowledge and value you get in a practical sense, because it's not like I'm just learning about a whole bunch of bullshit. I'm learning about a whole bunch of bullshit and the whys and the hows and how it applies to me and how it can apply to the clients that I'm signing up. And that makes me feel more qualified than I do now. It makes me feel more of the authority than I do now. It makes me feel better overall. Not to mention, it increases my confidence and makes me feel like I'm wiser when it comes to this shit, which can lead to better improvements in my training and all this stuff. And I'm like, for $13 a month, that's it. Now, it's not like I can, you know, I pay $13 a month and they just send me a bullet list. It's like a full ass breakdown. Here's what the study is. This is what they found. This is their hypothesis. This is what actually happened. The conclusion from this is yada 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 based on these mechanisms and blah blah blah. Here's how they did the research. Here's how they did the experiments and testing. They had this many people do it. They were trained. They were this age. They did this many sets. They whatever. And the reason why I like this is, for one, I like Lane Norton. He's got a lot of shit that I support. A lot of stuff that I love. Matter of fact, we have the same mentor right now. But he's on a much bigger level than I am, obviously. But we have the same mentor, and I think it's fucking cool. It's also reassuring that he hired my own mentor, because my mentor has him as a client, meaning that Lane values business side of things in the same way that I think that I do. So anyway, really cool stuff. But so one, I want to support him. That's cool. I mean, to be clear, that's not my motive. It's not like, who can I support? It's like, who can give me the best information, the best product? It just so happens to be Lane, and that's fucking awesome. So I plan on subscribing to that. It's $13 a month, and I get a lot of shit. Not to mention the one a month, I get access to all the previous ones, and I think they're 3 years deep. So I would get almost 36 issues of the shit. So 36 times 5, 180 issues right there. Boom. That I would get. So 180 issues, 180 research articles broken down, summarized, so that I can take that info and apply it to how I want. Now, why wouldn't I just Google the information? Why wouldn't I just use ChatGPT? Why wouldn't I just use all this other stuff, all this other technology that we got? Well, the surety and the confidence and the trust that I have in Lane and his team to report accurate data is high, because from my experience and what I've seen, there's no bias in his shit. And he's very, what's the word? He's always explicit when he says, hey, this is the research, this is what it says. However, aside from this, I also sell products. I have reformulated them however many times. I've changed my stance on certain ingredients many times. The research says this, so I changed. And here's the thing you can take if you want to take it. If not, no worries. And the fact that he changes his stance, I think, is one of the best signs that any authoritative figure or influencer or scientist or whatever can have, because it means they don't have an agenda. They're not tied to a specific thing. They're just reporting the facts. And I found that to be true the entire time that I've been following him. And I don't see any fishy business. I don't see any of that. So that's why I put my trust into him. And I was talking about this, I think, on a previous show. But there's certain things that you just can't know for yourself unless you've done them. And so for that reason alone, there has to be some kind of trust into another person or another source or another organization or whatever. For example, we can't possibly know if the earth for sure is round because we ourselves have not seen it from us being in outer space. So we can see photos, we can take other people's word for it, we can see videos, we can see whatever the satellite images show, we can take other people's words who have been into outer space or whatever. We can do all of that, but at the end of the day, we're taking other people's word because we haven't experienced it ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that the earth is flat. I believe wholeheartedly that it is round. If it is flat, show me a photo of the edge and I'll be happy to dive further into that debate with you. But it's not the point. Point is, there's so much shit that's happened that we don't know has happened. We just believe it to be true based on the source or the person. And that's kind of how I feel about Lane Norton. And that's why I put the trust into him. So if I'm just reading a random document or reading a random article or ChatGPT summarizes something for me, I feel like I can lean on it and know that depending on what it is, that it's in the right direction. And I feel good about that most of the time. But I don't know. I think for me, it's just I've had trust in Lane Norton for a while. I have one of his books. I've got 3 of his books. One is in hard copy. The other 2 are ebooks. I've learned so much from that guy. And the fact that we have the same mentor, so I trust him. So, and for it to be broken down into chunks to where I'm learning a little bit about everything and I don't have to think about what to focus on to learn, I can just, for example, I think this issue was stretching and supersets. And let's see, stretching, supersets, protein before a workout instead of carbs, partial range of motion versus full range of motion. And then I think something like drop sets and pre-exhaust. I could be wrong, but anyway, that's kind of a wide range of stuff. It's not just like how to build muscle, how to whatever. And so what I thought about today was, how can I make a shit ton of content, but also feel good about it and feel like what I'm talking about is actually correct, true, accurate, all the above. And I was like, what if each time I read one of these, so here's the idea. If I get an issue and it's got 5 different topics, I can take those topics and break them down. It'd be a stretch, but I could break those down into individual things themselves. So like if it's talking about full range of motion versus partial range of motion, that's a whole article or research or a meta-analysis of multiple studies all in one. Then I could take part. So for example, if they're talking about how on one study it said this, then I can make a piece of content about this. Guys, so it looks like research over here at Harvard, whatever scientist, whatever Schoenfeld said that they found that if you do this many reps, this many exercises, blah, 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 then you can get this outcome. And that's one piece of content. That's it. I would just link the study, post about it, write about it, learn myself, and then make another version of that with another part of that same exact summary, that breakdown. And not only am I reporting accurate and true information, I'm also learning about it by teaching about it. By teaching it. And I just think it's a win-win, because if I'm paying $13 a month, which is so cheap, I can't believe it's that cheap, it's fucking crazy, to learn about something, and then I break that down in my own words, and I'm also learning myself and also teaching somebody who may not know anything, I'm winning by learning. I'm also winning by teaching. I'm winning by posting content and having that shit planned out for me, in a sense. And I'm winning because somebody can now see me as the authority and to lean into me because I have the correct information. And also it's a win for Lane because he is getting supported financially. Maybe it's his team. Maybe it has nothing to do with him. I don't know. Or his finances, I should say. So it's just a win-win-win. There's nothing bad that comes of this. The only caveat here is this requires me to be studious and sit down and read and write and plan things out and, think for myself. Even though that these things are reported by people very high up the ladder, people who've been doing this forever, who make it their livelihood, who have PhDs in this shit, I still need to do my due diligence, read, make sure that there's no fishy shit going on in the background. Because, for example, guys, I'm sure you could, let's do a little experiment. I'm just going to type in, is betaine good for building muscle? Now, betaine is an ingredient in pre-workouts. It's kind of like an osmolyte, like creatine, meaning it puts water into the muscle and it lets you go a little bit harder for a little bit longer. So I'm just going to click on I'm going to find a link, Power of Betaine, the muscle PhD. Okay, so I'm just going to click, okay, so I'm going to cherry pick, I'm not going to lie. So this says Muscle Tech, the science behind betaine. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Let's see if I can find something. I'm trying to find something to give you. Let's see. Overwhelming. Okay, this is a bad example. Well, anyway, what I was trying to get at was if you look up a certain ingredient or a certain product or whatever, something, if you look hard enough, you look kind of closer to the bottom, or maybe it's at the top next to the author, you can find that it will say this article or this research was sponsored by the company or the brand or the whatever. Now, if you look at ingredients specifically, if you look up, because certain pre-workout ingredients and certain ingredients, period, they have a branded name or trademark name. So for betaine, it's like Beta Power. For beta alanine, it's like Beta Pure. It could be. I might have confused those two. I'm not sure. But when you look at the trademark or the patented name or whatever, when you read articles, sometimes it'll say this was sponsored by Beta Power or Beta Pure or whatever. So what I'm trying to say, I went down this little rabbit hole is because I want to make sure that these people who are writing this shit don't have any of that, because it's not just Lane writing it. Now, if he's trusting his people to do the research and do the writing, again, I trust him, so I would have to. He's got a lot of reputation on the line. You got to think about that stuff, because these people do this for a living. If they make a mistake or they fuck up, it's all gone. So I'm thinking about how they're thinking about it and what they're doing to make sure that they don't screw up. Because you never hear anything about Lane Norton. Matter of fact, he's always the one calling other people out for doing stupid shit and being dumb about, making stupid claims or wild claims, untrue things, just to fit their agenda. And yes, he sells products. Yes, he sells courses. Yes, he sells whatever. But I feel like I'm justifying this so hard, but I believe what he's doing to be real, genuine, actual, helpful, true, accurate shit. So all that to say, that's what I'm going to start doing. And I'm excited to do that, learn more and make some content about it. And also have that burden of what do I talk about? What do I, because it's all laid out for me. It's like, here's your homework. Give me 5 answers to this homework for each one. There you go. There's 25 videos or 25 posts or whatever. And I can just do that. Not to mention, I don't know. I got so much other shit I want to talk about, and I might continue this. Yeah, I'm going to continue this when I'm done with the gym. I just pulled up. So I'll talk to you guys in just a sec. Yo, what's going on? I'm not going to continue this because it's late as fuck and I need to go to bed. So everything I want to talk about, I will do it tomorrow. Good night.